right here we have a file definition. It starts out with less than, the word file in capital letters, greater than symbol, then the name of the file in 12 characters. Here it says shirt file, followed by the capital letter F, followed by the number of records in the file, and here it says 1000, followed by the number of text characters in each record in the file, and here it says 80, followed by the number of values in each record of the file, which is 10. Now this definition is to be placed in one of the app pages, because app pages are saved with the program. So because, that is, you need this file definition when you access the file, you put it in one of the app pages and it'll always be there. And when the program is read in, it looks for these files, and they have special abilities. Then I'm going to go to Program, and it has a blue box here that says Files. I'm going to click on that blue box, and you'll see when it loaded, it found that file definition. Here it says, click on the file. Well, it only found one, and that's that shirt file. You can have many files. I'll click on the shirt file. Then this box comes up that defines things about the shirt file. First, it shows you here that it has these different names of fields in the shirt file. There's a shirt type, size, color, and a date. And over here it has offsets for each one. The offset of type, well, is 0. It's the first thing. Then for size is offset 15 from the beginning of the record. The color is offset 30, and the date is offset 45. This first column says that when you refer to one of these fields, refer to the first one as A, then B, then C, then D, all the way to L. Now, over here on the right side, it says sequence. There can be 8 different sequences. That controls the order in which it will give you the file numbers. The first one here says it will give it in order of the type, then within each type the size, and within each type size the color. So that's how it will be sorted in order. But then sequence 2 says, nope, first comes the size, then the type, and then the color. And then there's a third way that says the color comes first, then it would sort by the type and then by the size. In other words, these things are going to be presented in alphabetical order, and you decide what that order's to be. Alright, this is the shirt files control block. We'll say we're done, and we'll go back to executing the program. Here we see that it selected one of those sequences. It says sequence number 1. Well, I knew what that was, so I put down here it was ABC. Well, if we look over here, we'll see type, first is long, sleeve, it be no sleeve, and then short sleeve. Well, they're in alphabetical order. And then it says sort then by B, which is the size. Well, here we see under long, it's large, medium, small. And then that repeats for the other types. And then last it says is C, which is this color. So it goes blue, green, red, so forth, because that's the first sequence in which it reads them. Now what it actually tells you, though, is the record number. It says the first record you're supposed to go to is 27, because in this sequence, record 27 is first, then 26, then 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, but then it's 9, 8, 7, 6. Notice the record numbers are not what you're going to read the file by, unless it's referred to by some other file that knows the record number. But when you want to see these things, you want to see them in a particular order. It will give you a record number list. Now, if I said this was sequence 2, notice it's changed. Now it says B, which is the size, comes first. So it's larger, the medium ones, then the small ones. Then under that, A comes next, long, no sleeve, short. And last again is the color. And if I go and say 3 there, sequence 3, now color is the order in which they come. So it's blue, then green, then red. And then after that it's A, long, no sleeve, short sleeve. And then the last thing is B, large, medium, small, large, medium, small. Well, you see, these are the records that I made. There's one for each possibility. Maybe you figured that out already. That's what I did when I built the file. All right, well, that's 3. Well, let's go back to number 1 again. Now, when you read by sequence, you're allowed to tell it within certain ranges. Right down here now, it says the type can go from A to Z. Well, that's all of them. So that's long sleeve, no sleeve, short sleeve. B can go from A to Z. So it's all of them. And it says C, the color, also can go from A to Z. But what if we didn't want long sleeve shirts? Well, then what we could do is we could come here, and if we put the letter M in there, notice long sleeve is an L. It's not in the range of M to Z. So we no longer have long sleeve shirts in our list as a possibility. And so we have record number 9 here, all the way through record number 10, way down here. None of them are long sleeve. And if we can limit by the size also, let's say we don't want any size smalls. So we're going to say the last letter we're going to go to is P. Well, because small is an S, it comes after P, it's not in our range. So we no longer have small. Then the last thing is color. Well, let's see what of our color. We could say, well, we'll go from D to P. Now we limit it, so all we have now are these 4 items, well, which are records in our file that obey these rules over here for our sequences. Now, these here, values, you say, ranges, we use them as ranges, are shown down here. This is what a sequence record would look like. It would have in it 1 ABC, then the first range M to Z, then the second range up here A to P, and then the last range D to P. This would be found in the sequence action. Needs to know these values. Here it said the first set of values, the first range, is for A. We know that's the type. The second one for B, that's the size. And the last one is C, that's the color. And it uses sequence 1. Well, now we're going to go look at the program. Here is that action called sequence. It's going to get a record number list. Those tests, which were those ranges that we just looked at, are at this address for test. So I'm going to go down here to page. Well, I can do it this way. I can click on that. Up here it'll put test at offset 0. I can click there, and here it is. This is the string for test, and there's the 1 ABC. Now these are all 20 characters apart. So this one here, if I click on it, it's going to say 20 here. This one's 40 and so forth. I'll click on this one down here. It's at 120. Well, I don't want to change this instruction, so I'm going to put it back. Here's where it starts. So that is what's under there. Now let's exit that again. That's the test data. That's where the ranges are. And the last thing here is the file name, which it says shirt file. But now we know that the shirt file is in page B. Well, so right now I'm going to quit this. I don't want to change that instruction. But I'm going to go down here to page text, and I'm going to go to page B. And here we saw where these different places are. Here's the file definition. And remember that the data, the text data, immediately follows the file definition. And so it's showing here that the last record referred to was short sleeve, medium size, green color, and its date is 02/08/18. Notice when we put the date in a record, we put the year first, because then we can sort by it. Alright, that's that part. Another thing I want you to see is that when we go to one of these fields, like the test field, notice at the bottom of the list of pages that we ordinarily have are also the new names that were made for that file. So I don't have to say these names are in page B at a certain offset. We just can refer to it by its name. These in fact are page B at that offset, but we don't have to keep remembering the offset. We can refer to them by their actual name. I'll quit that again. Alright, we go back to execute it again. Here we see how to do a sequence on a file. Well, that's the end of this video.